Hello. My name is NicowithaC, and with me I have Sir Skargrat, aka Toby, is what I'm going to be calling him probably the entire day.
That's fine with me. Hi.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to be playing Resident Evil 7 New Game Plus, any percent, and we had a incentive for the language, so just making sure, was it Italian that won in the end?
Yes, indeed. We last minute got a 15 euro donation for the Italian language.
Italiano it is.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I think we are just about ready to start time. So time starts when I press OK here. So we're gonna go. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's go, Toby.
Let's do this.
So we've seen this cutscene so many times. Not that many times in Italian, actually. It's not that big of a run language. Mostly because Japanese actually saves, and basically any other language than English, I think it is, saves like
Almost
half a second.
I think French is the only one that doesn't save time.
Yeah, besides English, true. So yeah, welcome to Resident Evil 7. This is Mia, and we're set out to save her, basically. Mia is the lovely wife of Ethan Winters, who is, well, the main protagonist that we're going to be playing. And Toby, why don't you talk a little bit about why Ethan is going out alone to Louisiana?
Okay, so his wife, Mia, has been missing for 3 years because she went on this babysitting job, which she said, even though she tried to cover up for some kind of biochemical experiment, which went bad, hence this game. But she sent this video mail to Ethan 3 years after she's been missing, saying, don't come to me, stay away. And every classical horror game protagonist doesn't stay away, so he's just gonna find him.
Of course.
Sorry.
Of course. If you had a wife, you would go get her as well, right? Even if it was after 3 years?
I think so, yeah. I think I will, yeah.
I hope you would. So yeah.
Well, I hope it never happens.
I hope it doesn't happen too, man. So anyway.
What, getting a wife part?
Sorry?
Getting the wife, having her missing for 3 years.
Oh. Both. But yeah, like it
just
says
takes
here,
a big drive.
Yeah, like it says here, Ethan says maybe it's a prank, and I don't know what kind of wife he like wedded, but a 3-year prank about missing,
that's a serious prank right there.
Yeah, reminds me of those YouTube videos. It's just a prank, bro. It might be something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're coming up here to the first part where we can actually play the game. The first 2 minutes and 32 seconds, I think it is just cutscene. Nothing you can do. Yep.
And the first 11 minutes in total is kind of a snooze fest, just kind of a walk.
Well, yeah.
Eventually, like after 11 minutes, you're going to be able to have like some action.
Exactly. So yeah, an RE7 movement is basically the most important thing that we like try to practice, because having good lines is basically what's going to save you a lot of time when you become more than like a top 30 runner, I would say. Like after that, it's just pure movement based.
Yeah.
And
movement, menuing, optimizing.
Yeah, and we're coming up on something that can be a little bit of a skip. This is called Daddy Boost, if I get it. Sometimes. Oh yeah. Oh Jesus Christ! I got a big one. Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, that's called Daddy Boost.
Okay, well, imagine that having on a marathon.
Yeah, that
never in your actual runs.
No, exactly. I never get it in my runs. Exactly. But yeah, basically Daddy Boost. We are not sure exactly why it happens. Also, that was Jack Baker. We call him Daddy the entire run. That is just the rule. And
I think the cause for Daddy Boost, what I've heard is CPU. It is random, but the lack of CPU enhances the chances of getting it.
Yeah,
so the better your CPU, the lower your chances.
Yeah, so the worse CPU you have, the more time you'll save, you'll think, right? Well, wrong. Not in total, because load times are also a thing, and that will come into effect. Yeah. Also, Toby, let's talk about Retrace.
Yes, so along this game, this speedrun, there are a couple places where we retry. The first retry that we're doing, actually the first two, require Ethan to be set back to his maximum movement speed. normally his movement speed is the fastest like outside, but when he's inside, his movement speed decreases, and retrying there at the moment that we autosave allows us to get back at our maximum movement speed.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if you
We
could
will
quickly
have,
touch on 30 FPS, because we did that as well now.
Oh yeah, okay, so there are a few places where walking past something or creeping past something is tougher to have on variable FPS than 30, because the lower the FPS, the easier it is to walk past. So we will use that for, I think, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I can't actually remember. We can also use it at other times where we usually don't, but if we're getting in, you know, quite a pinch between, excuse me, between some enemies, then we can use it as well.
Yeah.
Top runners like Ross Rossi use it very
Cap,
well.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, they use it extremely well, and they know exactly when to do it and on the fly as well. Whereas some other runners might panic if something happens, because as speedrunners we're used to we're used to a set of patterns, and if that pattern gets broken, it becomes very weird, especially in RE7.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're actually coming up to the first item that we're gonna get, the very nostalgic bolt cutters.
Yeah, that's the classic Resident Evil item.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, menuing is also something we can touch on here, because we're actually gonna save Mia here, ish.
Also, you saw him looking at the wall while he ducked underneath that little
True.
crawl space.
Yeah.
If we don't look at the wall, we see a dead body of a crew member who did some kind of like ghost adventure story there.
Exactly.
I think it's called Sewer Gators.
Yeah, I think we just call it body skip.
Yeah.
It's like one of the earliest skips that was actually found in the game. And yeah, we'll have some more skips to explain later. But if you're wondering,
Definitely.
first of all, what is going on with Mia's hair? Well, her hair
It's the
isn't
game.
her hair isn't designed that well in this game, which is fair. But also, we're playing on very low resolution, very low graphic settings, and we're playing on 1280 times 720 resolution. So the graphics aren't gonna be that pretty. I promise you, if you play this game casually, you will have amazing graphics. It is very, very beautifully made. But yeah, we're not doing it justice in speedruns because we want all the frames we can get.
Yeah. Like, of course, if you're running on a NASA PC, then you can have all the best settings that you want, but
Yeah,
not everyone has that.
not everyone has a 3080 like Captain Ezekiel and Canyon.
Yeah.
must be nice. But yeah, basically, we can talk a little bit about menuing here. You see my menu here on the right side. My cursor, wherever I press it, when I open my menu again, it will be on the exact same spot. So in times where I have a little bit of downtime, I'm going to be doing some menuing back and forth, and I'm going to make sure my cursor is on the next object that I need to use, or the next blank space where an object will be that I need to use. That's like super, super important for RE7, and is like one of the earliest hurdles for new runners, because you can lose so much time to menuing if you do it wrong. And yeah, during this small auto-scroller, if we have any donations, we can read them out right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Or if we do not, that's also completely fine. But yeah, basically the entire first section here is kind of an auto-scroller until you get to actually move past Mia. We can't move past her at all. We've tried to figure out if we can go out of bounds to get past this part, but RE7 is a game where there are so many triggers that you need to hit as Ethan.
It's
That-
very linear.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of points are very linear.
Exactly. We have one point that we can kind of skip, but we still have to do the puzzle. We'll talk about that later once we do the out of bounds glitch. But that is basically the only one we can actually do. If we do any other one, we're basically going to soft lock the game. And I'm not just staring at walls because I love walls. I am basically standing right at the trigger point right now. And
Don't lie, you love walls.
I do actually love walls. This is a really pretty wall. I've spent so much time at it because of resets. But yeah, basically Mia's going to get kidnapped here in a second. There we go. Almost timed it perfectly.
And
And,
where he stood was the closest to walking away. and triggering her getting kidnapped.
Exactly. And now we need to do another trigger, which is go into the bathroom here and go out again. We're gonna hear someone banging at the door, and that's our trigger to go and look at Mia down here. Let's see if we get a Mia boost as well. Oh, we did get a slight Mia boost as well.
You're getting all the boosts.
All the boosts, and I'm still not gonna PB. Don't worry.
Talking about Mia, you guys asked me something and I completely missed it. The donation incentive, the bid war, it's still anyone's game. So
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
if people want to see something special, you know what to do.
Exactly. So basically, at the hour point, we're gonna be choosing between saving Zoe or saving Mia. Zoe we will meet in a second in the telephone. Mia is the one trying to kill us at the moment. So, you know.
Yeah, tough call.
Yeah, tough call.
It's the one trying to get you out of this place, or it's the one you've been married for.
Yeah, who is trying to kill you with a very weird knife. Also, this section, all you have to do is run at her. That's the fastest way of doing this.
Yeah.
And don't resist.
Never resist.
Never resist.
Why would you resist getting hit with a knife by a possessed lady? I don't think anyone would. Really.
But you know, I'm not... Don't talk about
Not
your Friday
judging.
evenings. Anyways.
Tuesdays.
Exactly, sorry. So, another small trigger coming up here in a second. We're gonna get access to Ethan again, because all these amazing cutscenes that are here in the beginning just mean we can't really do much else than this. And we're gonna move slightly up here. Should be around here, and Mia should get up here in a couple of seconds. Maybe.
Yeah.
There she goes.
Normally people explore and all that, but we just do like a couple taps forward and like maybe a tap to the left, as some people do.
Yeah.
And then she just gets triggered.
Exactly. And Mia 1 here, it's pretty simple. You just want to crouch in front of her, smack her a couple times, block when she grabs you, and that's basically Mia 1. You can do, if you have enough FPS, you can do like a one hit on her. It's pretty finicky, but once you've gotten it down, it's pretty consistent. Again, top runners, Rossi, who else?
Captain,
Captain,
Marigold, Tignaldo.
Exactly. All the really, really amazing runners, they all get this one hit in all their PBs. And,
Yeah, just top 5.
yeah. And if they don't get that, they kind of just choose to reset, because it's
Yeah.
like too many seconds for them to lose just in the guest house area. Guest house
So
area
optimized
takes
what
about
they have.
guest house area takes about 1453 if you're like a really top runner. If you're Rossi, it takes about 51 because he is just a mad lad. And
For us, it's like 15 minutes sharp.
yeah, exactly. So already there, we're like 7 seconds behind, and you can see it's pretty linear. Like, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm literally just moving from A to B constantly, getting items, putting them in places, fighting spouses, stuff like that. And yet we can still be 7 seconds behind. That is how optimized this category actually is.
Yeah. It's very, very optimized, and it'll just come to a point of resetting so many times because you lose milliseconds.
Yeah. So don't look when I do the fuse thing, please, Toby. Thank you.
I'll look even more now.
Looking and judging.
Okay,
Oh,
it's not as bad as just trying to put the bolt cutters in the
Oh,
fuse
yeah, no.
spot.
Oh, also, something we should mention. We're playing on the 0D version.
Oh yes.
Oh god, Ethan's voice is interesting in this language.
Okay, so you have the normal playthrough, which is just like Steam version, which is just the normal version on the Windows Store. But it has a lot of parts where the Japanese producers or like developers thought that it was too graphic, so they omitted a couple animations. Such as this one where Ethan should actually lose his hand, but instead it's just gonna fade to black and he keeps his arm.
Yeah, and it pumps really awkwardly and his fingers are very stiff. It looks very painful.
Yeah,
And,
and this isn't the one where the part where it saves time, but there are like 2 or 3 spots where the 0D actually saves time, and it adds up to around 23 seconds in total.
Yeah, most notably it's gonna be our Jack 2 fight and when we get the snake key.
Snake key.
Those
Yep.
are the biggest ones. But now we're gonna go fight Mia once more. This is
The rest are
called
just animation alters.
yeah, exactly. Basically, it's dismemberment that is not allowed in the Serity version. So,
It's
Mia 2, there is a strat for one-hitting her, where you basically clip into her model and hit as many hitboxes as possible. I usually don't have the amount of FPS for it, but we're gonna go for it anyway, and worst case, we'll get like a 2-3 hit.
or since like
Oh,
a
dear God.
couple days ago, she just insta charges.
Yeah. Well, she kinda insta-charged, but I still didn't do it properly. Anyways, she is dead, and let's see if we can get some ragdoll effects out of her. Oh, am I fast enough? Oh, there we go. She's actually stuck a little bit in the air. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pose.
I don't know why the developers thought this was a good idea, but when Mia dies, she gets like a little ragdoll effect,
Yeah.
and for like 3 to 5 seconds, and the position she's in at the end, she just locks into that position. So I've had like a couple times where she was just in the air in
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like a yoga position. It's very funny. It's just a little piece of fun you can have in a very serious game.
Yeah, exactly. And when you reset as many times as we do, it's just a fun little game to pull off.
Yeah, just a mini game in a game.
Exactly. And well, yeah, Daddy came and picked us up, and
Greeted
well,
us into the family.
oh yes, the very, very nostalgic line, "Welcome to the family, son,"
Hell yeah.
which I don't know how to say in Italian.
I'm not even gonna try.
Toby, you're from the Netherlands. I'm not assuming you know how to speak Italian either.
I know a couple
No,
things, but I don't know that.
Captain, you know?
No, not at all.
I might go to translate, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Oh, it could have been cool if I just had a translator open and just smacked it out.
Let's see what it says.
Well, he said something like
oh,
benvenido.
Yeah, benvenuto
Mm-hmm.
nel figlio di famiglia,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay. I can respect it. So yeah, here's the dinner scene. Another cutscene. A lot of cutscenes are like in the beginning of the run, which is also why we have gotten a new category in that's called, or a category extension, sorry, called No Guest House. That basically skips everything we just did and a little bit more.
Yeah.
It skips like 21 minutes of the game, but as you can see, there's a bunch of time saves that are there in the 21st minute of the game. So that's why most people still run main game, and a couple of new runners have joined RE7, since RE8 is not that far off. A month and a half-ish, and then we can actually see Ethan Winters in, well, what looks like RE4 remake.
Yeah, it takes place in Romania, I think.
Well, there's a lot of theories, but nothing is actually set yet.
I think the location is, and like a couple characters are. The demo's been out, of course. So.
Oh yeah, you've probably seen one particular character, except Ethan
Two, actually.
and Chris. Well, yeah, except those two.
Lady Dimitrescu and
Yeah, that was who I was
that
referring to.
woman.
The internet has received Lady Dimitrescu very well.
Yeah, they welcomed her into the family.
Oh yeah, definitely with it. So yeah, that was Lucas here on the left. On the right it was Marguerite, which is the lovely spouse
Mommy.
to Jack Baker. And yeah, as you can see, something is really weird. All this food not getting eaten. It just doesn't fly with me. So we're gonna have to get out of here real quick, Toby.
Yeah, let's just make a run for it.
Yeah. All right, you want to talk about hallway?
Yeah. So one of the biggest irritations in the runs for us, Jack, everything to do with Jack. In the hallway, he pops out, and there are like 3 ways of him interacting with you. He can either go for an insta grab, which you don't want to have. He can
guess what I got.
try and grab you. Oh, you actually okay. Well, he could try and go for a grab and miss, and that is the most optimal thing, because then you can try and get the hallway skip.
Yeah.
And then there is the one where he swings with a shovel, and there's no way of getting the hallway skip, so we're not gonna get it.
No, unfortunately we didn't get it, but I will say, however, to defend anyone who says hallway skip is RNG, it is not RNG at all. It is purely movement based, but it is very, very tight to get it.
This game has little to no RNG, apart from the little daddy boost and Mia boost that he got, but it's all about AI manipulation.
Yeah, exactly.
you want to try and manipulate their AIs as best as possible for you.
So here, another trigger. We got into the first save room of the game, and we're gonna get greeted by Zoe again. And she says we did a good job, even though we literally just ran past Jack, picked up a key, touched the aux door to trigger the cop here in a second in the window. And yeah, because we're playing New Game Plus, we get to pick up some items. And Toby, you wanna real quick talk about the items?
Yes. If you finish the game in like a certain difficulty, easy, normal, or madhouse, you will receive a specific item that you will be able to use for like all the games that you are gonna play. So we have all the items, and we're gonna use 4 of them mostly. The circular saw, the Albert 01, which is one of the strongest weapons in the game.
Yep.
Infinite ammo and walking shoes. The rest we're just picking up because it's faster to pick up everything. Yeah, it's faster to pick everything up and then just discard them later because it will just get back in our storage box either way.
Yeah, exactly. So the primary things we're going to use, like you said, circular saw, Albert, infinite ammo, and walking shoes. The walking shoes do not make you faster when you're running. They make you faster when you're walking. So that's something to, you know, think about. And also it makes you faster when you're crouching. So in sections where I'll be crouching, I'll be moving a lot faster than I usually would, for example, on New Game. Now, we have all these lovely items, but Ethan is still going to ask for a gun here. And that's obviously because the game is scripted this way. And this lovely deputy is actually going to give us his pocket knife. A pocket knife that we need for, I think, opening 1 tape box. And that's about it.
Tape box for the garage door.
Yeah, and that's about it. Otherwise, it's just going to be sitting in our inventory. And we're actually, after this, we're coming up on our first boss fight called, well, our first real boss fight, I guess you could call it, called Jack 1. And Toby, if you want to explain how Jack 1 works, because it's pretty scripted.
Okay, yeah, so Jack 1 starts off with Deputy Shovel investigating the garage. And when you gain control, you just want to try and damage him as much as possible with Albert.
Yeah, well, Jack,
also with
not the deputy.
Yeah, Jack, yeah. The deputy was dead.
Yep.
But we have infinite ammo, so we use the enhanced ammo on the handguns because that's stronger. And we want to shoot him, I think, 5 times before him entering the car, and while he's driving 1 more time, so that you have the quickest way of finishing the fight.
Exactly. And we're going to do 3 shots while moving away from him. And then we're going to walk over here behind the car. He's going to swing at this shelf. It's going to break, luckily. Something can happen that's called shelf lock. Didn't happen. That would basically mean I would have to retry that fight.
There's no cause for it. It just happens randomly. It's kind of like weird thing in the game.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you have to retry or just reset for us because it's very bad.
Yeah, basically you can't, like, he can't get into the car. That's basically what happens.
Yeah.
And if you can't get into the car, then you can't play the game.
So he just menued real quick before killing Jack there. When we just want to menu at like times where we have nothing to do or we have to wait. So opening doors or waiting for something to trigger or waiting for someone to die, actually.
Mostly Jack.
Yeah, mostly Jack. March sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
I think once.
Yeah, for March 2 at least, we can, if we need to. Usually it's not too big of a deal there. But yeah, Jack is going to show us something wonderful. And that was apparently it. Again, because we're on Saturday, his right half of his face doesn't blow up, so that's good. And we're going to pick up some more things that we need to get out of this house. So basically right now we're picking up the ox statuette, and we're going to do the small little optimization where we actually move the shelf as the ox statuette is unscrewing.
Yeah.
And
also what I really enjoy about this game is that the main characters of the Baker family represent a category of horror movies by themselves. Like Jack Baker is more about body horror, or I mean slasher, sorry. Marguerite is all focused on body horror, and Luke is on psychological thrillers.
Yeah, exactly. They really took inspiration from some of their favorite movies and mashed them all together. There's even going to be a very famous line coming up from Jack 2 here later on. Which
there are a couple references to Evil Dead.
Yeah,
I think it's Evil Dead.
Yeah, I think as well.
Yeah, Evil Dead. Yeah. Also, Ethan drived in this car that is
Oh yeah.
basically like the car that they use in Evil Dead. It's some kind of like Mustang-ish car.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, again, we're picking up some more items. We got the clock pendulum, we got a dog head that we need to get out of the house, and we got a wooden statuette. And we're coming up and out of bounds. Toby, take it away.
Yes. So it's a pretty tough section. What's gonna happen? And basically, you want to do like a couple of inputs, couple of actions as fast as possible. So you want to shoot Jack in the leg, in the bathroom, because that gives like the longest stagger. In that time, you want to get you want to shoot to attract him. Then you want to get the dog head in the clock. And the toughest part about it is making sure that he is far enough for you to do the puzzle.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's gonna be actually. I feel like I didn't shoot him in the stomach, but let's see. Oh, I did. Okay, nice.
Okay. Yeah, the arms count as stomach.
Yep.
Can I quickly interrupt for a small donation?
Yes.
Or for a
Go for it.
donation.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a €5 donation, anonymous, which says this incentive will speed up the run, right? And it's gonna go to Save Zoe.
Well, he is wrong, but we appreciate it still, nonetheless. Saving Zoe actually costs about a minute, I think, because we have to do one more boss fight because of it.
Yeah.
I guess that's the joke.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
gonna be raid boss me, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so anyway, we're out of bounds. Basically how that works is Jack pushes us out if we're looking at a certain direction. And yeah, we're just facing the wall, and he's like, oh, you need help getting out of bounds, buddy? And he just shoves us right out. Now, to get inbounds again, and this is the scary part of the run, because you can lose a lot of seconds here.
You can fall like to infinity,
Yeah,
and then get loaded back at the start of out of bounds.
You can also miss the inbounds area, but it's okay.
Yeah, overall, when Jack grabs you, you're gonna turn into this not a solid object. I think it's just a fixed object or something. So you're able to clip through.
Yeah. Basically, you get to clip to the wall, even though it's not designed like that. It is the only useful out of bounds we have in the entire game, because there are so many triggers in this game. And right after that fest, we got the red keycard, which is basically the reason that we do the whole out of bounds. Now, when we get the red keycard, we still have to do the puzzle later on, because if we don't do the puzzle, the game will be like, hey, where did you get that red keycard from? And then it will soft lock on you.
Yep.
And coming up is... Yeah, exactly. So coming up is Jack 2. Toby, take it away, my dude.
Okay, so for me, Jack 2 is based on either audio cue or visual cue, but what happens is you want to shoot him as fast as possible when he's out of his iframes, and you want to headshot him with enhanced ammo, and then just saw away.
Yeah, I just realized I can't use the audio cue because we're not running on Japanese, which is what I usually run on.
Oh yeah. Normally we have this audio cue of him talking, and we kind of like know Japanese like out of our head.
Yeah.
And the second one is more of a visual cue to me.
Yeah.
When he like when he tries to go for his attack, then it's over. so you still get the 2 cycles, so that's fine.
Yeah. Basically, he wasn't supposed to grab me, but because I was a little bit too far away on the first shot, because I was kind of janky on where his audio cue actually was in Italian, I stepped back a little bit and I wasn't close enough, and that made it really difficult for me to saw him enough. But luckily we still got him in 2 cycles, so it's not that big of a time loss, maybe about 3 seconds.
Yeah. Normally with Japanese, with the audio cue, we can just stand in front of his face and instantly shoot him, and then we can push him into the fence so he doesn't walk around for a bit.
Yeah.
So that's a bit faster, but yeah, we don't have the audio cue with the Italian, or it would have been like pure guessing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's fine though. It's basically like the only audio cue I think that we actually use in this game, because it's the only one that's reliable.
I saw something about, or I heard something about the audio cue for when Mia gets kidnapped in the guest house.
Oh yeah,
there's one slight audio cue before she screams.
Yeah,
it's
but
when
that's
she
more
slides
music.
her hand on the couch.
Yeah, but that's more music. That's not the speech.
Yeah, fair.
Anyways, we picked up a scorpion key to get out of here, because now we have all the duck heads.
Yes, and the dog had to go into a door because that makes sense.
Because that's how everyone locks their doors. Hello.
Yeah, with heads of dogs.
Yeah. Do you not have that?
No, I have cats.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. So yeah, coming up here, we got to trailer. And yeah, just getting out of house casually can be very difficult because there's a bunch of puzzles you have to like solve. But obviously, speedrunners, we know all the puzzle answers, so we can just do it really, really fast. And
Yeah, that's why we don't go into videotapes, because the videotapes all only show like how to progress in a game.
Mhm.
So we don't need to use those because we know the game.
Yeah, the only video tape we'll be using is the one on ship, which is a flashback one that is required for Mia. We'll get to that when we get to that, but until then, we're gonna go to the old house now. We are done with Jack for the time being. He cannot bully us anymore, and technically he was actually pretty nice. He got us out of bounds and everything, so it was a decent first half of
This was a good in-law.
Yeah.
Good Jack.
Good in-law.
Good in-law.
But yeah, basically, lore-wise, Zoe is now telling us that if Ethan wants to get out of here, he needs to get rid of the virus that is in Zoe's and Mia's body. So he needs to go to the old house and see if he can find some ingredients. And boy, will we find some ingredient list.
Not the everyday ingredients, but
not what you have on top of your shelf, at least.
No, mostly at the back of your cabinet.
If you have that, I'm gonna get worried. You'll see.
I thought you already were.
Yeah, I am always worried about you. Don't worry.
So yeah, okay. So there are a few things that you can skip when it comes to cutscenes. For instance, here Mia was behind a fence.
I've never heard Italian March. That was amazing.
Oh, that's actually funny.
That was amazing. Yeah, so what I did there is basically I changed to 30 FPS to get the spiders off the door a little bit faster. For some reason that works. Otherwise you have to...
Yeah, there are less frames to hit.
Yeah, otherwise you have to like go over to the other door, and we don't want to do that. That's slow.
I usually just, when I didn't do the 30 FPS, I just spasmed with my mouse like on the entire door and just press interact.
Yeah.
But it's not the most like physical friendly thing to do.
It really isn't. Yeah, so just a note, Toby and I are like, I think we started running about the same time, about 7 months ago.
Yeah, 6 7.
Yeah, and we've basically been competing with each other the entire way up to top 10. And
I think the last couple of PBs we both had was like 3 seconds ahead of each other.
Yeah, it was constantly 3 seconds ahead. Yeah, and yeah, basically we both went in and out of top 10 constantly. And now Catlink has made sure that none of us will ever see top 10 again, because she just came and beat our times with like 20 seconds.
True. I'm like 4 seconds away.
Oh yeah, true. You're
with
4 seconds
20 seconds of free time save in just that run.
If my game would be nice to me just once, I could also maybe get some time saves.
Just get new PC forehead.
Oh yeah, I will. Don't worry. Next month. Anyways, another very Resident Evil item, the crank.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna use that a couple of times, about 4 times, I think.
Yeah, 4.
And right now, again...
2 here and 2 after Lucas puzzle.
Exactly. We're just picking up items, basically, and coming up here, there's a spot where Marge is actually ahead of us right here, but if we go in a certain direction, she can't see us for some reason. And I got lucky there, because sometimes she can't see you anyway, and then you have to fight off her mosquitoes and stuff like that, and we don't want to do
you
that.
lose like a second if she sees you.
Ah, damn it. This guy is a pain sometimes.
Is the mosquito... Yeah, I normally shoot him with the G17 when I walk up to the crank.
Oh, was it the one on the floor? Because sometimes it's the one on the... what's it called?
On the floor.
On the plank. Yeah, sometimes it's the one on the plank as well. So sometimes I shoot that guy and then Marge hears me and I'm like, oh no. So that's why I never do that anymore, because I lost a 10-second PB pace on that. Feels bad, man. Anyways.
10 seconds.
Yeah. So we got the crow key, and here's the crow door, but Marge is gonna intercept us right here. So if you want to talk about Marge 1, I know there's not insane amounts to talk about.
Nah, it's a fairly simple fight. when you gain control, you just want to shoot once with the Albert and 3 with the G17.
Yep.
But that also shows the first case of the quick shots, I think.
Yeah, the first real case at least.
The G17 is the only gun with the capability of doing quick shots. Basically, what you want to do is shoot.
Yeah, hip fire, aim shield,
yeah.
and hip fire.
Yeah, just aim down sight, then just constantly just aiming and hip firing.
Yeah.
And that's the fastest way.
Yeah, and you
Otherwise,
don't wanna.
the other handguns would be faster.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't wanna like spam it. You wanna actually have like a certain rhythm to it. Otherwise, you're gonna be doing it a little bit slower, like I did there. I didn't do it as fast as possible, but it was still
I
a
think
decent
that's
thing.
what I do wrong because I keep I just keep spamming shoot.
Yeah, no,
and
that's
then
not
just
okay. So basically, we just found the ingredients list in that briefcase. We need a D-series head and a D-series arm. I don't know how Ethan even knows what a D-series is, but basically we need a baby head and a baby arm.
Got a picture sent through Snapchat by Zoe.
Yeah.
know
Oh,
each
yeah.
other.
That's another fun fact. Why doesn't Ethan have a phone? Because he definitely had a phone in his car, but apparently he just left it in his car.
I think maybe Jack took it when
Yeah.
he welcomed him into the family.
Maybe.
It's
No,
just a little detail that they're not telling.
no phones at dinner, son. Anyway, this is lantern skip. We look at a certain spot up on the ceiling, and then the board here is gone. Then we fall down at a very particular spot as well. Marge will grab the lantern that is in the icky waters, and then we can actually proceed to Marge 2. It's a
Yes.
pretty complex skip when you're learning it, but once you get it down, you will almost never mess it up, unless you do. Sometimes it happens, and
It
then you
still
get really
happens, though.
annoyed.
It still happens to us.
Yeah, it happens to everyone. Basically, because you
Yeah.
want to do it as fast as possible, you're like trying to cut as much time as possible there. But yeah, Toby, March 2, let's go.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest fights in the game, or at least I consider it one of the toughest ones because it's heavily optimized. But he wants to get her in one cycle. It's sometimes very tough to do, but let's see if he gets it.
Yeah, basically it's some Albert shots and then some sawing, and then when she drops down here, I want to do some Albert shots to a hive. And yeah, we got her. I didn't get her in 3 Albert shots, but it's okay. I might have lost like 1 second max. Maybe 2.
It's fine.
It's definitely fine. We got her into 1 cycle.
I don't even think it's a second because it was at the first G17 shot that she died.
Yeah.
So it's not maybe like half.
Yeah,
But yeah, basically there is this damage cap of her doing that little jump back. If you do too much damage, she just staggers in place and then
and then she
you
yeets
can't
out.
get the 1 cycle and she jumps back through the window.
Yeah.
But if you do it like this, she just jumps back and it gives you time for to kill her.
Yeah. I'm very happy about how that went actually, because that can cost you like 30 seconds if she dips. Which
There are
she
a
definitely
lot
did.
of times where marathon runs don't go as expected, but
Yeah.
so far it's been going well.
It's been going pretty decently. No hallway skip, unfortunately, but you know,
No.
hallway skip is also very difficult to get.
Yeah,
Like every run.
Jack's AI is very janky there.
Yeah, a little bit, but it is to be worked around if you spend enough time practicing that. Anyways, we just got the lantern, and this is basically why we had to get the lantern.
Yeah, so that little phone call before he did the skip, Zoe said that we had to check out the second floor, and if we did, we would find this little, what is it, like balancing weight,
Yeah, I guess it's like a
thingy.
weight thingy.
and it said that, oh, you need the lantern, and then you go back to the little well, and you find Marge 2 being a spider,
Mhm.
or a big insect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we just skipped, like the entire walk back.
Exactly. It skips like maybe 10 or 15 seconds, I think it is.
Yeah.
But like it's a really big time save if you do the lantern skip optimally. You can save even more than that. But suboptimally still, 15 seconds, that is amazing. And yeah, we found someone sitting in here, and she just gave us an arm.
Special deformed kid.
Oh yeah, exactly. Anyways, we did a retry here, so this guy will spawn properly, because if we don't do that retry, he won't spawn properly outside of that door.
Yeah, we do that to cancel his iframes.
Exactly, because if he has iframes, obviously we can't one-shot him in the head and just run right through him. But we were actually lucky enough to get some healing as well after March. Some of the drops are a little bit RNG, where it can be like handgun ammo or healing. And now we can also skip phone calls. Isn't that nice, Toby?
Yeah, there are no more phone calls that we have to pick up in this game, apart from the one on Mia's Apple Watch. But we have our skips for that.
Yeah, exactly. We have a couple of skips coming up for that section as well. We also have a skip right after the lantern skip here, which is a trailer skip. I don't know how anyone found this, but basically if you like rub yourself up against the side of the trailer here, the phone call will go off here in like 2 seconds. You hear it. There it is. You can even see the phone icon. And yeah, you don't have to pick up the call. You just have to trigger it, and then you can go and pick up the next items that you need, which is, well, you don't hear it because we don't pick up the phone, but it's basically Lucas telling us that we should go and pick up the snake key, or pick up the 2 key cards, sorry, which is the red key card and the blue key card. Red key card we already have, but to get the blue key card, we need to get the snake key. And this is where the biggest time save for 0D is.
Yeah. Normally, Deputy Shovel would be there, all decapitated.
He still is.
I don't think he is in 0D.
Oh, he's probably not decapitated. That's true.
No, he's just there. He's just dead.
Yeah.
But in the first fight with Jack, he gets decapitated, or he should be decapitated. But for us, he isn't.
Yes.
And that triggers a very uncomfortable scene where you have to grab a key down his throat, and Japan was like, nah, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So we just have the key on the table.
Exactly.
And it saves, I think, 15 seconds there. Because it's a very long cutscene of him grabbing a key.
Yeah, it's like 15 seconds long. Yeah, I accidentally had my menu on the wrong one. Assuming it's because I pressed W and F at the same time. Anyway, this guy needs to get out of our way. It's a pretty precise shot to do. You can do it on his torso as well, or his head. But you basically need to shoot that guy. If you don't do that, he will slash you afterwards, and it's not a good time.
Nope.
Also, like I talked about earlier, we need to trigger the puzzle to get the red key cards. So that's what we're going to do first, because that is the optimal route to do it. Shoot that guy for funsies.
It's a very annoying puzzle for a blind playthrough.
Oh yeah, it is.
Because you would be like, huh, same time as all the other clocks. Because that's the hint you get.
Yeah.
But apparently, this game takes place on a very specific time.
Yep.
Permanently, it's always 10:15.
I guess either that, or they just never reset their time ever. I mean, daytime savings did just happen, so might be why.
It's not an hour into the game.
Yeah, true. Anyways, yeah, so we did the puzzles there. They're pretty simple, and then we're going to do another shadow puzzle here. Also, a note on those shadow puzzles. If you play this game, don't play with the shadows on low. You literally can't see what's going on. Like, it is so grainy, but yeah, that's just a word of advice.
It's literally the only graphic that we have high. It's shadow quality.
Yeah, I even have it on medium, just to save as much frames as possible. So now we have both the key cards, the red and the blue one. So we're gonna go to Lucas's party, and I'm just gonna say this before we get there. If you're, if you don't like watching a guy picking off his
nails,
rip out his nails, just gee, I missed that shot.
I mean, you can also just like when that happens, when he rips it out, just look at the ceiling or something.
I'm not gonna spoil it for those who want to see it, but for those who do not want to see it, you can look away.
Just a little trigger warning.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, it is Ethan sitting down here in a second for 2.5 minutes to watch Lucas's home video. Enjoy this. If you have any donations, now is a really good time cap.
We don't have any donations yet, but keep in mind, chat, that the donations incentive to play, is it play or kill?
It's save me or save Zoe.
Save, yes.
Yeah,
right.
inject basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save Zoe or save me. It's kind of the ending of the game.
Yep.
At least it's an extra boss. Or not.
Exactly. It is basically forcing me to take an extra boss if you choose to save Zoe.
which
So.
is currently in the lead.
Oh,
So
dear
we're
God.
currently.
I don't think you've practiced that fight, did you?
I practiced it a little bit, but there's not really any optimal strats for it because no one
Oh.
runs that percentage. So it's gonna be an on-the-fly fight because basically, well, we'll get to it when we get to it. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna spoil it
Let's
for people.
make sure NicowithaC has to do the fight.
I memed a lot about adding a category called Zoe percent where you have to cure Zoe.
Yeah. Which
But I don't
would-
think it will ever get in.
No, because it would be the same category as the main game, but you would just have to fight Mia once more. That's
Yeah.
literally it.
That's it, yeah.
I guess you could call it all bosses technically.
Kind of like, or Mia boss, Mia percent. Yeah, I don't know. It's like,
It's technically all bosses.
yeah,
Anyways, Lucas here is talking about how good he's feeling now that he has the E-virus inside of him. And he really doesn't want to go back to how things were, even though Zoe really wants to. So he's basically saying, I have the D-series head. If you want it, you have to get through me. And yeah, here comes the psychological horror part of the game, I guess you could say. Let's just say Lucas has watched a bit too many Saw games, or Saw films, sorry.
yeah. I was just about to say he does have a little like Saw-esque feel.
Oh, he definitely does.
Also, him just being like very crazy.
Exactly.
His eyes are very
Very blue.
diluted.
So this is called Bomb Room, and I missed the second shot, but it's okay.
You get a good boom room.
Might do. Yeah, that's kind of a meme between me and Toby, because once we had a race, we said, let's get a good boom room, and we both completely messed it up.
I don't even think it was in a race. I
Oh,
think
yo,
it
it was.
for
Well,
me in a normal playthrough, and then afterwards we just
Yeah.
memed it.
Well, no, but it happened to us in the race as well.
Yeah, fair. And you just cried laughing.
Oh, yeah, I was cry laughing for sure. So, yeah, this is the keypad that we're gonna enter a password in later on. We know the password right now, but we can't actually press it in. If we do it, it's gonna auto-generate a new password. We don't want that.
I think it's also a callback to another movie, Room
Um,
1408.
It might be. I'm not sure.
But it might be far-fetched, but there's a movie 1408. But the code is 1408.
The code
The thing is, though,
indeed
if we put in the code right now and we put in 1408, the code will change the next time we're actually able to use it. So we just don't interact with it now.
Yeah, exactly. Also, there is a retry there, but I found out that my CPU is just not fast enough to loading it, so I actually lose time if I do it. And there's also a bump there. Also, I did some quick menuing there because Lucas requires you to put everything away when you get into the next area after you've done the barn fight here in a second.
Yes.
And basically, all the items we keep right now are the New Game Plus items, because the New Game Plus items, you can discard them. Guess what happens if you discard them? They go back into your inventory box. So it's the fastest way to do it without having to manage inventory afterwards, after this barn fight. Basically the fastest way to do it without losing any time at all.
Yeah. Let's hope you get a good fat molded.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I think they're called mommy moldeds, but I'm not sure.
Oh no, the mommy molders are the ones in what's it called? In Not a Hero.
Really?
Yeah, there's a mama molded there. There's one in particular. Anyways,
Oh yeah, it's the one where you have to use the anti-healing.
Yeah, well, the ramrods or what they're called.
They're just called fat moldeds.
Maybe.
These-
Anyway.
these are just fat moldeds.
Yeah, this was just the boss fight. Small one. It's basically introducing us to a new enemy, which is called Fat Moldeds. And yeah, like I said, we discard all the items there. Basically, how you take care of that Fat Molded is you shoot him 8 times in the stomach and then once in the, I guess you could call it under
Leg.
knee area. Yeah, it's like at the calf area, basically. Because you want a certain death animation, which is the fastest one. And we actually got that, so that's pretty nice.
We don't want to have the Oscar deaths.
Oh, no. There are
Where
some
they
Oscar
take
deaths.
like 10 seconds to die.
Yeah, and Oscar deaths are referring to like Oscar nomination deaths. Like, not Oscar a person.
Oh,
No, I just wanted
shout
to
out
make
all
sure.
the Oscars out
No,
here.
holy shit. Okay, anyways, the keypad here. 1, 4, 0. Oh, messing up.
What did you mess up?
I maybe, pressed 4 twice. It can happen.
Ah,
Don't judge me.
yeah. No, I've had like the last week where I just pressed 1 twice or 0 twice, so it's fine.
Yeah. So my keyboard does this thing sometimes where it like eats my inputs, and it did right there. So that's kind of unlucky. But besides that, it was fine.
Yeah.
Basically, you can go diagonally in the keypad puzzle. Not a lot of people know it, but basically if you're holding a direction and then tap another one, like for example you hold W and then tap D, then you will go like diagonally up to one side. It's just a small optimization, but it does save like, I don't know, 3-4 seconds maybe, because you don't have to do as many inputs.
So this is one of the toughest puzzles for a blind playthrough.
Oh, absolutely. There's
This
so
is
many
also
things.
a puzzle where you have a videotape for explaining how to do it. But basically, you just want to grab a valve handle to stop the shower from pouring rain over your candle, so that you're able to light the cake.
I love that you call it rain and not water.
I mean, it's a shower.
Yeah, it is a small shower.
It's a leak. It's a leak.
It's definitely a leak. Oh dear.
A very
Too far
heavily timed leak whenever you walk through it.
It is actually pretty well timed. It's basically shower heads. Also, a little thing from RE8 here. I'll try to look at it real quick. I can't look at it now. It's too dark. I'm sorry. There's a witch there. That's
yeah,
like
it's a little spoiler.
Yeah. Well, it's not really a spoiler. Just
teaser.
Like teaser. Yeah, exactly. There's basically a witch that was also in the trailer for RE8, and yeah, we noticed her instantly when we saw the RE8 trailers. But yeah, that's basically the puzzle. Get the candle lit, put it on the birthday cake, hear a birthday song, pick up the time bomb. Wait, there's a time bomb? Anyways, Lucas wants to kill us with a time bomb, but we're not having any of that. We're opening a hole that he made for us for some reason. I don't know. Lucas is way too nice. And now we're just going to stand right beside it, because apparently that doesn't kill you.
The videotapes showed a very bad outcome for the protagonist of that videotape.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, one of the crew members that he kidnapped. But I'm not sure. I think so.
It is.
It's the one that holds the code for the room, I think. Because it was all burned and all.
Yeah, exactly.
But you want to... In that videotape, you have this little crank or... yeah, I think it's a little crank on a barrel holding alcohol liquid. And you need to use it to continue in that videotape, but eventually it will just make you burn to death.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the cake exploding.
Yeah, on my blind playthrough, or casual playthrough, sorry, I think I died like 7 times or something like that in that room alone.
Because we are big brain.
Well, it looks very easy when you do it fast here in a speedrun because you know everything there is, because it's literally just 3 parts that you need to do. But there's so many objects that you can interact with in that room that it just confuses you, and you try everything in like special order and stuff like that. And yeah, you can die in very strange ways in that room. Anyways.
Very strange.
We basically got all our items back in a perfect order, so now all my weapons are in the slots that I want them to be. The crank is where I want it to be, so I can do everything as fast as possible. And now we're coming up to the Boathouse. And Boathouse is basically where we're going to meet Zoe for the first time. Mia will also be there, but for the sake of speedrun...
We're not going to focus on her.
Yeah, for the sake of speedrun, we won't really be noticing her that much. He is going to say Mia, but then he's going to say Zoe right after. It's very mean. Also, boss fight coming up in a second.
Yes, we're going to fight the evolved version of Jack.
Mukade Jack, as he is called in the game files, actually.
Okay.
But we just call him Jack 3. He has definitely evolved to something else. Also, some random skip that Nick's Issues actually found here because he broke his game apparently. If you walk down while Zoe is making the serum and you tap the item box and run back up, you save 3 seconds, and no one really knows why.
Yeah, you just boop the snoot against the storage box and it helps.
Exactly.
I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't know why.
Alright. The most optimized fight of all. Jack 3. Toby, take it away.
Yeah. So Jack has a couple eyes.
A couple.
Just a few scattered around his body. And you just want to kill his eyes as fast as possible. because you don't want him to attack you. And the toughest eye to hit is at the lower part of his body, which has a little gap that we can shoot through. But overall, the fight shouldn't be too difficult once you just aim right.
Yeah, basically the crotch shot is what we call it, the one on the bottom. But once you get that, the fight is, I wouldn't say free, but it's a lot more easy to get through because you're basically just sawing the remainder of his eyes. Also, I will go for a certain skip here. Let's hope I get it.
Yeah, there's a very tough one to get. It's also not as common. It is it's called the quick kill, and basically if he's in a idle animation before attacking.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you actually did.
Didn't I?
Nice. Wait, let's.
I couldn't hear his roar at least. I think I got it.
It's a bit tough to see from that. No, I mean I don't know.
It's tough to see because usually we have like an audio cue that he does in Japanese.
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't, right? Yeah.
No.
I just didn't hear the
You
normal
shouldn't
roar.
flinch that much when you hit the last one.
Basically,
but
it saves like
it
5 or 6 seconds, I think.
It saves the animation of him smashing on the ground before going into the water.
Yeah.
I don't know what causes it. It's something to do with the frame where you have to kill the eye.
Yeah, basically it's something about if you kill him in an idle animation, he will skip the last animation. And now Zoe's gonna tell us to use the serum on him. Remember, we only have 2 serums. One for Zoe, one for Mia. Now we gave Jack one for whatever reason. And now we only have 1 left, so...
Which pops the question,
Who
do
are we
we
saving?
save Zoe? It's Zoe?
Yes, it is Zoe.
Well, Nico, prepare your cheeks for that one. It's gonna be a very, very interesting...
It shouldn't be too bad.
It shouldn't be. It also changes the end cutscene when you finish the game, because Mia won't be there. It's just a phone that Ethan yeets away. Basically.
Which is interesting that he has a phone all of a sudden, but you know, it is.
I think it was Mia's phone, right? Because Mia sent that video message to him.
I think it's his actually, because she sent the mail. Anyway, we have to choose between these lovely ladies, and we're gonna choose Zoe over here. There we go. And Ethan's gonna come up with an explanation like, Zoe will guide us out of here. She knows the way better and stuff like that. But in reality, I don't think... Well, it's not canon to pick Zoe. Like, I think all the developers were anticipating Mia to be the one that everyone picked because
story-wise, it isn't the best pick to pick Mia.
Yeah.
To pick Zoe, because it also doesn't work with DLC.
Yeah, exactly. Because End of Zoe, also an amazing DLC, just like Not a Hero, basically has the continuation of this. Look at this fire, by the way. It's really nice particles when you have graphics on low. I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, End of Zoe is one of my favorite DLCs just because of the uncle that just uses his fist as a weapon.
Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe, it's so nice.
It's absolutely amazing. If you ever want to punch mold it, go play End of Zoe. It's amazing. And if you ever want to shoot a bunch of molded in a really fast-paced manner, because Ethan walks really, really slowly, play Not a Hero. It's free. If you have RE7, of course. So, yeah. We're gonna ride the boat here a little bit with Zoe. And I know we said that we could save her, but she is gonna meet an unfortunate event here in a second.
Yeah. So basically, if you pick Mia, both of the women stay alive.
Yep.
If you pick Zoe, both are dying.
So
that's basically how it ends.
So whoever picked Zoe, you chose poorly. Words.
You chose death.
Yeah. You chose chaos.
Or chaos in their audios.
Oh yeah, exactly. But
so yeah, we're just sailing, and we're gonna meet.
Look at this beautiful ship.
We're gonna meet Dark Titanic. I think the ship's called Annabelle, but I'll just refer to it as Titanic.
That would be another horror movie reference, actually, if it is.
Annabelle, yeah.
Should be amazing.
I don't know if it's intended, but I think all the ships have a female name.
Yeah, I think so as well.
In all the RE games.
Oh, and here goes Zoe.
Yep,
oh, by the way, who is Evie, Toby? We've heard a little bit about her, but we haven't heard that much.
Yeah. Well, Evie is a lovely girl. Let's introduce Evie.
Yeah.
So Mia was a special agent for, I think it's called the Connections.
Yep.
And in that job that she had this little experiment, this biochemical experiment with her colleague Alan. And she did these experiments on a little girl called Evie.
Yep.
But the experiments didn't go so well, and Evie became a very pubescent toddler.
Yep.
But with special powers, and I don't think you want that.
No.
So she gets like all angry, and she can make people turn into moldeds because it's her vomit, I think.
Yeah, basically she is vomiting, and vomiting all this up. We'll see a little bit of that later. You can see a little bit of the mold here. She's basically learned how to control it as well with her mind.
Yeah, and control minds.
Yeah, exactly. And that dapper fella you just saw on the floor was actually Ethan, because now we're playing Mia. How did Mia get on the ship? We don't know, but it's canon, so don't question.
You can also see his the scar on his cheek from the dinner scene, where Jack cut into his cheek.
Yes.
You can see that. You could have seen that a little bit where he laid on the ground.
Yeah, you can see a little bit here, and you can also see it later once we get to saving Ethan. But basically, we are back on the ship, and now Mia is gonna have a bunch of flashbacks because she's trying to remember what actually happened when she was on this ship. So there's gonna be a bunch of bright lights like this one. So just be wary of that. It's not gonna be photosensitivity or anything. I just want to make that clear. It is just a bunch of small flashbacks, so no worries to all you people. But basically we're running up the ship here, taking some tight corners, trying to move as fast as possible. Not really that much to talk about in this area, but we are gonna trigger another flashback here in a second where two workers who are I'm gonna call them the twins because they literally took the same model and duplicated. It's like a copy-paste situation. What do you think, Toby?
I think they're special.
I mean, everything down to their beard is like the same.
They're just very. I mean, if it's tough to recognize one another when they're both wearing these gas masks.
I guess.
I think one has a little like bigger belly.
You've inspected them much more than I have.
Yeah, I took like an hour in this cutscene. I just retried every time.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'm joking.
So yeah, here's a small shaft that we have to get through with Mia, and we have to turn this way because then we're facing the correct direction. And now
there's also a retry there, but
yeah,
it's
if you have a good CPU.
So yeah, if you have a good CPU, then it saves like 2 or 3 seconds. If you don't, then you just lose 5.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, we're gonna see Zoe here for the first time in a flashback first, and then in real time. There she is.
You mean me, Evie? You
Evie,
said
yeah,
Zoe.
sorry. Yeah, Evie, not Zoe.
What if Zoe was Evie? That would be a big plot twist.
That would be an insane plot twist.
It's not, but it would be very special.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna help you get out of here, but I'm also not. Bye.
Also, something to note is that Evie and Mia kind of look alike. It's not because Mia is like her mom or anything, but Evie does look to Mia as her mom, which is why she will refer to her as mommy almost.
Yeah, because she took care of Evie during the experiment, so she kind of she said something about an imprinting protocol, so she just imprinted Evie with the thought that Mia was like one of her parental figures.
Yeah, and basically they did that so they could control her, or that's how they thought it would go. But as you can see from the ship's condition, it did not go that well.
Yeah, I don't think it went as planned.
Oh no. We're gonna pick up a fuse here, obviously, and then we're gonna walk over and put it into another fuse box. Yeah, casually, the ship is so difficult to maneuver against.
It's basically like a 4-floor puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. But when you know what you're doing, it's not that bad. Funnily enough, how that works.
Yeah, there should be a gun like somewhere around here, but we don't use those because
New Game Plus.
we just want to get into the cutscene of the videotape as fast as possible because there's a storage box with our weapons.
And basically we pick up the videotape there and shove it into the VHS machine, and this is the first and only videotape that we're actually going to be watching.
Yes, and we will be meeting Alan.
Oh yes, please, Toby. Do we like Alan?
I mean, I don't.
Correct answer is
like
no.
him. I don't hate him. I don't dislike him.
Well, I don't hate him either. Hate is a
He's
very
just
strong
unlucky.
word.
He's just unlucky.
Well, the funniest thing is here in a second he's gonna say it's his fault, and then Mia's just gonna completely agree with him. This is basically a
it's like-
3-year flashback.
It's like, yeah, it is your fault, but you know, we all make mistakes.
No, that's not even what she says. She just says,
No, it's like,
"Yeah, it is your fault."
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna let you die, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
It's like I hate you, but you're not gonna die.
Yeah, not gonna die on my watch, boy. Anyways, we're coming up on the first of 2 Alan skips. Toby, if you want to talk about the first Alan skip that we're gonna do without shoes, a little bit risky, but should work.
You'll get it. But yeah, the first skip, we want to walk to the kitchen, I think, and basically the skips revolve around the calls that he makes with the Apple Watch or Fitbit, whatever. But you can cancel the first phone call by being as fast or as far away as possible from the molded without triggering the call. So you interact with it and you want to walk away.
Yep.
Yeah, like so that you hang up or something, or you just click a button and you'll be like,
yeah,
no
basically
call.
I think it's like Mia is too far away for like the trigger, or the trigger gets confused or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And now we went and get it.
It's a tough one to get at first, but once you get it, it will be fairly easy. You got it at a very fast pace, so that's good.
Yeah, I got it decently. I could get it a little bit faster, but I didn't want to mess it up, so I wanted to make sure that I had, you know, the correct timing and stuff like that. Anyways, while we waited for the elevator to come down, I went and picked up our New Game Plus items again, because the pea shooter / the SMG that Mia has is absolutely terrible for killing molded. And
It's
yeah,
one of the worst weapons in the game.
I think the only worst weapon is the flamethrower, but even that one has its like value in terms of like killing the insects. But
Yeah.
the SMG is just bad. But yeah, we're coming up on Alan 2. Basically,
Yes, so
we have this remote bomb, and yeah, take it away, Toby.
yeah, it's a very finicky one when it comes to placement, but if you get it down, it's fine. You want to place a bomb at a specific spot because you're gonna be in a phone call when you're gonna walk back, and when you're in a phone call, you're not allowed to interact with anything.
Oh yeah.
But we have a way around this because we want to intentionally blow ourselves up with that bomb, and you're gonna push yourself into the door, and the door will open.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a force hit. You want to get the fast animation where she just, I think it's just like a little drop down to one knee and then stand up.
Yeah. You basically don't want her to fall over.
Yeah, you have a very slow animation where she falls over. You'll probably get into like critical health, but
So it's
it will,
coming
the
up here.
skip will still work.
Let's see if we get it or not. I have to stand still as I do it just to make sure I get it. And we got the good pattern. We got the fast one. So that's really nice.
Okay, that's good. That saves like 5 seconds over the slower one.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's basically all the skips. So
There is a thing where Evie kind of like T-pose flies away sometimes.
yeah, that usually happens on new game because then you're too slow. So you can always see her do that, which is very interesting. It's a new game
It's a
special
very
for
fun
sure.
thing.
Basically, she doesn't even T-pose. She's just like standing with her arms down, and she's just like, I don't know, gliding away from you.
She just hovers away like Magneto style.
That is true, actually. I
Yeah.
never thought about that. But
I
yeah,
just came up with that actually.
you're such an amazing comedian. Anyways, we got into the elevator again. Now the elevator is gonna break, so we're gonna stand in a certain spot, and we're just gonna mash the use button so we can open the elevator as fast as possible. And then we're gonna go and we're gonna meet our friend Alan. Usually the game wants you to like go back to the save room where you talk to Alan in the beginning, but he won't be there. We know exactly where he's gonna be though, so we're just gonna strolled right over there instead.
Yep.
Last molded coming up here can be a little bit tricky to hit.
Alan's gonna meet his unlucky fate.
Well, he deserves it for how he speaks. No one should speak like that.
Yeah, okay. He did have to watch his profanity, but
Yeah.
yeah. Apparently Evie can hear that or something. It's like she
Yep.
has this little alarm button in her body saying like, oh, he sweared about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do like molded things to him.
Molded things.
Yeah.
As you say. Anyways, he's here. He's not feeling too well. You can actually see that from his Fitbit Apple Watch. It's
Yes.
not doing
Flashing
too hot.
red.
Exactly. Which is a nice touch, actually, to the game.
Ethan had that too when he laid on the ground before the chip.
Yeah, and his was also red. And basically, Evie, if she infects you, she has total control of your body. So she can decide if you should die or not. She did that with Zoe. And yeah, in a second she's going to do that to Alan as well. And Alan is not going to be one of the moldeds. He's just going to have a very bad time here in a second. And unfortunately, I can't really look away. So, yeah, if you don't like vomit, don't look. Ugh.
It's very grotesque.
Oh yeah, for sure. It is over in a second though. And
It is kind of yucky.
yeah, it's very yucky. I know.
Yeah, I think he ate with the bakers in the dinner scene.
Yeah,
I don't think he had like a good reaction to it.
actually, not, no.
But to be fair, when you looked at that food, I don't think you want to eat that.
Well, you know, Marge said it's good, and she made it specially for us. So
Yeah, but she just tossed a bug into her mouth saying that. So
it was in the way.
wouldn't-
It was in the way. What would you do?
I wouldn't believe her.
All right, so we're coming up on the last part here of the videotape section. And basically, there's just going to be a man flying towards us, and then he's going to explode somehow. I don't know exactly how it works.
Yeah,
but
it's also kind of like a flashback, I think.
It is. It's going to happen here.
Also, that laptop in that little control room is when you interact with it, a callback to the first cutscene of the game.
Exactly. This is the only skippable cutscene we have in the game, because it's a movie.
Yeah, and the other skippable cutscene is past the game, so it's kind of like it's a bit weird.
It's not one we can use. And this...
Like a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah, exactly. And you actually have to skip this as fast as possible because the in-game time is actually counting. So it's like a little mini game that you can do inside the game. Actually save time there.
Run cinematic skip.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this loading screen is always long. Don't worry about it. And this very, very iconic scene, I'm just gonna let it play out. Shout out to Carcinogen. First time this game.
Do
was
it too.
showed.
Do his.
No, I can't. It is too iconic. I will not. Here it comes.
Tosses into Evie. Tosses into the face.
Oh god, her laugh is not as good on Italian as it is on English. Or in English. You'll hear it in a second.
Oh, it's like a clown or something.
It's like a clown.
Yeah, it's like
This is why I brought Toby on.
it would be very dull without me.
Exactly.
The iconic duo.
True, true. So, yeah, we're gonna go, again, just like any other Resident Evil item, we're gonna pick up some items. And the first item we're gonna pick up here is a lock wrench, so we can actually get inside the elevator that we just climbed on top of. After that, we're gonna need a fuse, and we are going to need a corrosive, and we are going to need a power cable. All those things combined will allow us to start the elevator again and go down to S2, which is where Ethan is currently being held.
Yeah, this is literally the 4-floor puzzle where I talked about earlier. It's like one item every floor.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah,
I think it's like 4, 1, 2, 3 or 4, 2, 1, 3 actually in the floor order.
Yeah, 4, 2, 1, 3 sounds about right, and then S2. We don't really think about it that much once you ran this enough. And coming up is God Door. I rarely get it, but
Just
let's
try
see.
it.
I will always try. Oh my god, we got it!
Nice.
Poggers.
It's a good marathon for you.
Poggers?
So that door, we call it God door because the doors in this game have a very like automatic closing feature, and closing or opening that door at like the latest possible time, it allows us to walk through after picking up the corrosive. If you do it too early, it will close earlier, and it will lose you like 2 seconds. It's not that bad, but it's kind of like a swag strat that
Yeah.
actually helps.
On really optimized times, when you're doing PBs where you have like maybe 5 seconds of time save and you lose 2 seconds there because you don't get it, it feels so bad.
It does.
But yeah, we got the fuse. Now we need to get the power cable. We're just gonna interact with this door so that guy will fly right through us. He's the hardest working molded, but man, that guy just always misses.
Yeah, I do have to give him credit though for trying.
He tries. You cannot take that away from him. We're coming up here on the power cable. It's gonna take a while for that to get untangled, and while we wait for that, I'm gonna do some menuing. And you can hear like a molded there in the background. Oh, I wasn't close enough. Interesting.
It is one of our fat molded friends.
Yeah, but this one is very kind. He just lets us walk right past him. He's gonna do some puking through the wall. It won't hit us, and we just run straight past him. On Madhouse, that guy is scary, because he can turbo and like run you down on this section. And if moldeds yeah, on Madhouse, moldeds are faster than you when they're turboing. So you need to.
Everything is faster than you on Madhouse.
Oh, Jack is a terror. Like
Jack is like Sonic, and and the four-legged crawlers can insta-kill you.
Oh yeah, it's
such a fun time.
Yeah, shoutouts to all Madhouse runners. They are something else.
They're mad lads.
They are definitely mad lads. So yeah, we're going to S2 now. It was a decent ship section, if I do say so myself.
I think your run overall is just decent.
Yeah.
If you're gonna continue like this, you might actually be close to a PB.
Maybe. I don't think so. I think the Jack 2 fight slowed me down too much, maybe. And I didn't get a good out of bounds. Or as good of an out of bounds as I usually do. But we'll see. We'll see in a second. This guy sometimes jumps back. He didn't want to do that this time, so we're just going to run right around him. Coming up, we are going to run past this molded who's going to spawn. He's going to block us a little bit, and then we run past him. Then there's this fat guy. What's he's going to do? Okay, he's not going to give us the good angle. So the fat molded...
Should we also talk about quick shots?
Quick
Cheap shots, I mean?
Cheap shots, yeah, sure. Didn't happen.
So,
up until now, which is insane, actually.
I think once before the elevator in the tape.
Yeah. Oh, real quick here, you can see the scar on Ethan's cheek.
Yeah. But the cheap shots, that's I think also an RNG thing in the game where moldeds, when they spawn, they can instantly charge at you, and it's not very fun because, especially in Madhouse, they can put you at critical immediately.
They can kill you almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically cheap shots. Oh right, we have to fight Mia in a second. I almost forgot.
Oh yeah,
I will not PB no matter what.
Fair. Maybe you PB on Zoe %.
Yeah, well, I will obviously because I haven't done that up.
It would be very special to PB right now. Imagine how many times it had.
If I lose 1 minute here and I would have beaten my PB, I'm gonna be kind of sad. But it's okay. It's all for a good cause.
It is. It is.
So no worries. This scene is very, very, very iconic. This is basically showing the people that have been infected by Evelyn. We don't see Mars because she's dead. Lucas is not dead, so we don't see him.
Yeah, he ran away.
Exactly. And yeah, basically, they're like in a hiatus status right now, just like Ethan was. And it's like a hive mind state, basically. And this is the first time that you see Jack really talking as himself. And he's basically just explaining that they aren't bad people. They just got infected and they're like connected to her and she goes into your soul, stuff like that. And she's basically the one controlling you.
It's my favorite cutscene of the game because it shows their weak side and it's very, very nice. It's also smart because if they did that right at the second that you were greeted into the family where Zoe stitched your hand back up, because it's at the same time as that.
Yeah.
If they did it right then, the game would just immediately say like how to play this game.
Yeah.
But right now it's a very nice way of just
eventually saying like, okay, this is how it goes. This is the girl. This is what she does.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fix this.
Fix this, please. Save my
Yeah.
family, please. Is basically
So
what he's saying.
Just a man on a mission right now.
We are, and there's only
You know,
about
focus on your wife.
yeah. I would say there's only about. Would you agree? 10 minutes left of the game.
Yeah. When you drop down on the ship, like out of the ship, it's 10 minutes for me.
Around
So
that time.
I'd say like 11 right now because you have to fight Mia.
Yeah, let's see how the Mia fight goes. This is Mia 3. It is probably my 5th time ever doing it. Basically, it's gonna be melee combat. We don't have an axe this time. We have a. Is it a wrench?
It's a crowbar.
It's a crowbar. Yes, it's not a wrench. Sure. But basically, Mia's trying to save us here. And you can see she's doing everything she can to try to get us out of here. But she is too infected. So
Yeah, too
she
far gone.
Yeah, so
And
she will
Evie is
actually
like-
turn.
Evie is like, you're not my mommy.
Yeah.
And now she just takes control of Mia.
Yeah, exactly. Where is luck? There it is. Let's go, Mia.
Normally she would just toss you behind a door, close the door, and say that now go kill her and cure. But she just goes bad.
Oh, this is some fight, huh? There we go. She's gone.
What a tough fight.
That is a brutal fight. Yikes. And yeah, that actually kills Mia because
Like the first 6 or 7 hits, she just stood there and took it.
yeah, well, I think she had iframes. To be honest. Oh. Oh, that's Avengers. Anyways. Back.
Avengers.
But yeah, you'll see it in a second. She like disappears into thin air.
Oh yeah, it's
Another
Like the
another
snap.
movie.
snap.
Yeah, exactly. The snapping. All right, so we got the tissue sample from Mia, actually. Evelyn's tissue sample. She basically got it from the flashback, or she had it on her the entire time and didn't know. Something along those lines. We're not exactly sure how she kept it after the flashback or after the
I have a
videotape.
feeling that she got it for like 3 years or something, and
Yeah, she just had it in her in her pants. It was just sitting there.
I hope it's a pocket.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Say now that's like 10 minutes.
yeah. Around here would be the 10-minute mark of the menu of the game. And basically, we're just gonna go over here to this little beautiful boathouse, and we're gonna pick up a grenade launcher, which we're gonna use, I think, 3 shots about, something like that. It would have been really nice to have this grenade launcher the entire
I
game.
think in total like 4.
It depends on how you do salt mines, basically.
Fair. I normally do 4.
Yeah, sounds about right. Anyway, we're gonna basically pick up the grenade launcher in a second, and we're gonna do a very specific line coming up to dodge a bunch of molded. Oh, I picked up something I shouldn't, and I don't know what it was.
If you're very trigger happy, this is a very challenging part of the game because you only have 1 bullet.
Yeah.
Or like 1 flame round.
Yeah, and you basically need to use that to kill. Oh, that guy wanted to hit us. Cool, thank you. Let's see if the guy at the elevator button wants to hit us. Nope. If he does, we actually skip like a small animation. You save like 0.5 seconds or something like that. And oh, I picked up machine gun ammo. Interesting. And we don't even have a machine gun. But yeah, basically there's...
Just chuck the machine gun ammo in the grenade launcher. Maybe it works.
That'll work. It's a very interesting looking grenade launcher. I don't know how they made it, but they did.
Are you not gonna do it with me?
Oh no, I'm not. It's not PG-13, so no, I will not.
If you step block there, Ethan will massage the grenade launcher.
I did it a little bit just for you.
Nah,
I
you
knew
just
it.
held it.
No, trust me. Just keep watching. Basically, that's the only shot that we need the grenade launcher
Okay,
for.
okay.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
It's approved. It's approved.
Basically, that's the only shot that we need the grenade launcher for. We do it behind that crawler that spawns, because then we take care of the bomb as well as the crawler. And yeah, now we're just gonna run through the salt mines. Oh, we're gonna press F on this one at the correct time. That's gonna shove this cart all the way down this mine shaft. We don't know why there's a mine shaft here, but there is. Let's see if the crawler comes. He does not. Thank God, because he can be very annoying. We're gonna block a bomb here made by Lucas. in a specific manner. So
Yes,
you get-
this mine is like the hideout for Lucas for his experiments because I think he spied on his own family to leak information to the Umbrella Academy or the Umbrella Corps.
No, to the connections,
Uh,
if I'm not mistaken.
sure.
If I'm not mistaken.
Either one of the two. It's like he just leaks information.
Oh, dude.
He's like a little tattletale.
Basically, yeah. Do I have everything? I do. I didn't do that as fast as I wanted to do because I wanted to make sure that I got all the items that I need. Because if you, for example, forget to pick up your infinite ammo, then you basically cannot do the last part of the run.
I mean, the Scorpion key is useful for just having the key.
True.
It's not like we use it on a door or something. You just throw the Scorpion key at a molded, like, take this.
Yeah, exactly. Smack him. Just like you smack me, I guess. I don't know. Last retry is coming up here in a second, and that is basically to give us some movement speed as well. It's going to be right after we get out of this hole here.
Yeah, it's the most significant piece of movement speed that you're getting because it's a very long section of running.
It's a long section, and I think it's also the biggest boost we get, just like from his movement speed. Like he basically runs like he runs outdoor. So salt mines, shoot this guy once with the Albert. We're gonna reload again. We're not gonna run past this guy. We're gonna do the safe one because sometimes he can be annoying.
So you're gonna shoot with the grenade launcher like 4 times now.
Yep. Exactly. Basically,
normally you give like 2 moldeds or something in a very special way, and it allows us to skip one of the moldeds at the top of the mines.
Yep. Let's see if we get that properly. We should. Yeah, I'm basically gonna shoot the smaller fat molded here in a second at the ladder. Smack him, and that's gonna stun both of the moldeds. That allows me to just go straight up this ladder and go to the final section of the game. I am also gonna pick up a safety heal here because we have to do something called one cycle Eevee, which we can only do if we don't get into critical, and Eevee can sometimes do like a double blast. If she does that, you basically go into critical because you'll block the first one, you won't expect the second one. Yeah. Well, basically you won't expect the second one. And that's the problem, because it's so rare that she actually does it.
Yeah, if your reflexes are fine, then you don't need the heals, but it's just...
It's the safety heal, and you don't lose any time, because you're basically waiting for Mia here in the very first place we were, in the basement, to do her talking. And yeah, this is all flashbacks from the early part of the game, where you can see how Mia was actually seeing the entire thing. Where she is, you know, getting controlled by Eevee. Eevee is standing everywhere and telling Mia exactly what to do. It's a very, very beautifully wrap-up of the game, in my opinion.
Circle.
Exactly.
Just go full circle. Just home stretch right now.
Exactly. Italian is a beautiful language, but it's really weird when you haven't heard it in a video game ever. Like when we're
Especially this one.
Yeah, when we're used to Japanese, like we're used to like certain sentences.
Oh yeah.
It's very, very fun. Also,
It's
this
like,
time I can't
big
walk into the exactly. This time I can't walk into the chairs because they're like completely hard for whatever
Yeah, they're
reason.
solid objects for some reason.
Yeah,
They upgraded since we last been there.
exactly.
We were like, oh, we can move the chairs now? Nah,
Exactly.
we're not gonna do that. Let's just nail them to the ground.
And we're gonna tell Eevee we are not playing around this time around. And Eevee gets
have-
scared, Eevee runs away, and we're gonna run up to Eevee, and we're gonna try to get the one cycle. Basically how the one cycle works is I'm gonna block her first blast, and then I'm gonna come from the right side angle, and that's gonna allow me to just one cycle her right before she's gonna blast me backwards. Let's see if I get it here. There we go, we got it.
Nice. Good job.
Thank you, thank you. And now, the biggest plot twist of them all, Toby. Who is Eevee?
It's me. No, it's Grandma. It's the
Grandma.
granny that we've seen in her wheelchair chilling like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. If you've noticed her during the run, good job for you, because we don't really look at her that much, but she is just around the house, here and there.
Basically,
Granny is like somewhere around the house and if she's like in your line, it means you've progressed in the game.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. And
There's
she's
also a
just...
thing where she pops out in that little crawl space after the hallway after you've done mommy.
And by mommy, you mean March?
Yeah, because I don't know why she's there, but she is there after you've done the whole March section and you go back for the key cards.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're gonna fight Evie, and this is a very tough fight. We basically just use the saw until she smacks us. And
You're so funny.
Thank you, thank you. And yeah, she basically just smacks us. We go to the next section of the fight, which is outside area. And now we can hear helicopters and stuff. And help is finally on the way.
Yes.
But we're not done with the fighting yet because Evie is not done playing with her food yet.
Exactly, and we don't have to hit her when she's outside because it doesn't help.
We don't have
It is
to.
a very scripted fight here where you don't have to hit her until she like lifts you up.
Exactly. We don't have to, but you know, target practice never hurts.
It's fun for the time being.
Yeah.
This is a good place to practice quick shots, even though it's right at the end of the game.
Yeah, if you have the G17 here, you can still do the quick shots. So we're gonna get shish kebab here in our leg by Evie. And now we're gonna do the heavy hand saw attack to the right. So I'm just gonna strafe my mouse right as much as possible.
Oh, I get it down all the time.
Oh, you can do down as well. I just do it to the right side. It's the same. Basically, it saws her arm off at the earliest point. And now we get sent the Albert from Mr. Chris Redfield himself. He's even gonna call us and say, use it. And if Redfield says something, we're doing it. Also,
Unknown caller ID.
you don't need to do anything else but just spam left click for this fight. You can just,
Don't move your mouse.
that's it. That's the entire fight. And we are coming up on time. It's gonna be when the
Screen fades to black when it's like all black.
Exactly. I'll tell you exactly when. And we also measure this in-game time, so just after that we can see what the correct time actually is.
Yes.
We're going to lose about a minute because we pick Zoe, but we can subtract that and say ish what it would be. So time is coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, and now. Sorry. All right. Let's see what the IGT says. Hope we're not overestimate or anything. I think we should be fine.
I think so. Could be like 129.5.
Oh wow, 129.27. So it would be 129.28.
Would be 2-second PB.
That's okay. I don't mind one bit. It's for a good cause. Just real quick, before we shut off the lights, I was going to say, I just wanted to send a quick shout out to the BSG community. Thank you so much for having us. It has been a pleasure. Shout out to the RE7 community, Yasihab, Ross Rossi, ZGL, Morphoria for being amazing mods, Captain Ezekiel for coaching me as much as he has. Shout out to my biggest fan, my girlfriend over here, willing to wake up with me at 5 in the morning. Yeah, and shout out to you, Toby. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, no worries. It's been fun. Shout outs to yourself.
Shout outs to me.
For running this game.
Thank you. All right, that's it from us. Thank you so much for having us.
All right. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Scargot or Toby.
Yeah, no worries.
With that, we got a last €5 donation that says, let's go any Zoe %. And thank you for that.
Nice.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I enjoyed seeing the missed PB. Don't worry about it. You'll get it next time as well.
I'll get it next time. No worries.
Exactly.
Definitely.
With that, my hosting shift is done. Up next, we're going to have a small intermission. And after that, and I'm going to have to look at the schedule to be sure. Yes, it's going to be Yakuza Ishin by Velare. Yes, he's called on Discord. I'm not exactly sure about his Twitch name. I'm sorry, I don't have the correct schedule in front of me. Anyway, that's it for me. Tiny Tim is coming up as a host. And I hope you all have a good day, night, or whatever it's going to be for you. At least it's going to be a small nap for me.
Same, man. Same.